in the last classes, we have studied electric charge, electric force and fields. Okay. See, now we will going to study the electrostatic potential and capacitance. See, let us study the conservative forces in nature. See, what are conservative forces? See, conservative forces. See, conservative forces. See, to know about conservative forces, let us consider a metal ball placed on the surface of the ground. Okay, see, it is a metal ball of mass m. Let the metal ball is lifted through a height h from the surface of the ground. Okay, see, this is the height h through which the ball is lifted. See, the amount of work done in lifting the metal ball through a height h is stored as the potential energy of the metal ball. See, this is the gravitational potential energy stored in the metal ball. See, this gravitational potential energy depends on only initial and final positions of the ball, and it doesn't depend on the path followed by the particle. See, suppose, see, this is one of the path through which the metal ball is lifted. See, this is one more path through which the metal ball is lifted to a height h. See, this type of forces are known as conservative forces. See, these conservative forces does not depend on the path followed by the particle, but they depend on only on the initial and final position of the particle. So, therefore, those forces which are depend on the initial and final position of the particle are called conservative forces. See, for example, the gravitational force is the conservative forces in nature. Similarly, the spring force is a conservative force in nature. So, we can recover the energy in moving the metal ball from the ground to the height h. So, therefore, this energy, if you drop the metal ball, then this gravitational potential energy is converted into kinetic energy of the metal ball, so that the sum of kinetic energy and potential energies remains constant. So, okay, such forces, the work done by these forces are called the conservative forces in nature. Hence, the gravitational forces are conservative forces in nature. Similarly, the electrostatic forces are conservative in nature. See, to explain the electrostatic forces, see, let us consider a charge plus q. See, this is a charge plus q placed at some origin. Consider one more charge q at P. Let the charge is moved from point P to point R against the electrostatic force of Q. Okay. So, the charge Q exert force on the small charge Q. This is in this direction. So, this is the electrostatic force on the small charge Q due to the big charge Q. See, when you move this charge Q from point P to point R against the electrostatic force of Q, the work done by the force is stored as the potential energy of the charge Q. This potential energy is called the electrostatic potential energy. Okay. See, this potential energy is called the electrostatic potential energy. The work done by this force is given by, see, the work done from P to R is equal to integration from P to R, work done is equal to force into displacement dx. See, suppose this is the displacement through which the charge q is moved from point P to point R. See, suppose this is the displacement dx through which the charge q is moved from point P to point R. Then the work done in moving the charge from point P to point R against the electrostatic force of Q is work done is equal to integration from P to R F dot dx, or it is F into dx cos theta. See, or it can be written as P to R integration from P to R F into dx cos theta. See here the theta is, see here the theta is equal to 180 degree. Since the force vector and the displacement vector, see the force vector and the displacement vector are opposite to each other. So therefore, the work done by the electrostatic force is negative. So minus P to R integration from P to R F into dx. So therefore, work done by the electrostatic force is negative, and this work done by this force is a conservative force in nature. So therefore, the conservative forces are the forces which are only depend on initial and final position of the particle and does not depend on the path followed by the particle. So such forces in nature are called conservative forces. So therefore, the potential energy at a point in an electric field, it is the amount of work done in bringing a charge from infinity to that point against the electrostatic force. See, this is called the potential energy or electrostatic potential energy at a point. Okay. See, now let us consider the point P and point R. The potential energy at point P is UP, potential energy at point P is UP, and potential energy at point R is UR. See, then the difference in potential energies at point P and at point R is called potential energy difference. See, this is the potential energy difference UR minus UP. This is called the potential energy difference. A convenient choice to have the potential energy at infinity to be 0. So therefore, the potential at P is equal to 0. So therefore, delta U is equal to UR. So therefore, the potential energy is 0 at infinity. So we can assume the potential energy of a charged particle at infinity is 0. So therefore, the potential difference is equal to UR, that is potential at R. So therefore, the potential at a point in an electric field is defined as it is the amount of work done in bringing a charged particle from infinity to that point against the electrostatic force. So this is called the potential energy at a point in an electric field. It is convenient to divide the work done by the charge, so that we will obtain a physical quantity known as electrostatic potential. See, what is electrostatic potential? The electrostatic potential. See, to explain the electrostatic potential, let us consider a charge plus Q. See, this is charge plus Q, and consider one more charge Q equal to 1 coulomb. It is point P. The distance between the charge Q and the point P is R. See, now the electrostatic potential, see, the potential is denoted by the symbol V. See, the electrostatic potential at P in an electric field is defined as it is the amount of work done in bringing the charge Q from infinity to this point. See, from infinity to point P is called the electrostatic potential. So therefore, work done per unit charge is called electrostatic potential. See, the SI unit of electrostatic potential is volt. See, SI unit of electric potential is volt. So, therefore, potential at a point in an electric field is equal to the amount of work done in bringing a unit positive test charge from infinity to that point against the electric field. So, this is called the electrostatic potential or simply electric potential. See, what is potential difference between 2 points in an electric field? See, the potential difference between the 2 points in an electric field. See, suppose this is the charge q. This is the charge q placed at some origin. Okay. See, this is charge q. See, now we will going to study the potential difference between 2 point charges. See, the potential difference between 2 point charges. So, consider a charge plus q here. See, let the point, this is point A and this is point B. Consider a charge plus q. Okay. See, now the electrostatic force on this charge is in this direction, and the electric intensity is also directed in the same direction. Okay. Now, the potential difference between the points A and B is defined as it is the amount of work done in bringing a point charge q from a point at lower potential to point at higher potential. This is called the potential difference. See, the potential difference is denoted by delta V. So, delta V is equal to, see, let the potential at B is VB minus potential at A is VA. See, B is near to the charge q. So, therefore, the potential at B is greater than the potential at A. So, therefore, electric potential difference between the 2 points in an electric field is defined as it is the amount of work done in bringing a test charge from a point at lower potential to point at higher potential. The SI unit of the potential difference is also volt. So, let us derive the expression for electric potential due to a point charge. See, to explain or to derive the expression for potential, let us consider a point charge plus q. So, the point charge plus q is placed here. It is at a distance r from a point P. So, this is the distance between the charge plus q and the point P. Consider one more charge, that is a unit positive charge plus q is equal to 1 coulomb at a distance x from the big charge. Say, this is the big charge q, big q, this is small q. The distance between the small q and the big Q is equal to x. The force on the charge plus q is in this direction. This is the force on charge plus q due to the big Q. Okay. See, now, from Coulomb's law, we can write the electrostatic force between the big Q and the small q. See, from Coulomb's law, we can write the electrostatic force, see, force equal to 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught into, see, q into small q divided by x square. See, as the plus q is equal to, see, the plus q is equal to 1 coulomb, see, the 1 coulomb. So, therefore, the force equation becomes force equal to 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught into q divided by x square. We call this equation number 1. See, now, we will going to define the potential due to a point charge. See, what is the work done in bringing the charge plus q from a point at lower potential to point at higher potential. Let A and B are the 2 points in the field of q. the distance between the point A and point B is dx. So, the charge is moved from a point A to point B against the field of plus q. So, now what is the potential difference between the point A and point B? See the potential difference between A and B. See the potential difference between A and B is equal to work done in moving charge plus q equal to 1 coulomb from point A to B. See, from point A to B. So, therefore, the potential difference dV is equal to, see the work done is equal to force into displacement. See, it is the dot product of the two vectors, that is force vector and the displacement vector. See here, the force and the displacement are directed opposite to each other. See, the force is in this direction, whereas the displacement vector in this direction. So, therefore, dV is equal to f into dx cos theta. So, theta equal to 180 degree here, and hence cos 180 degree is equal to cos 180 degree is equal to minus 1. So, therefore, dV is equal to minus f into dx. Okay. See what is f? See, from equation 1, f is equal to 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught into q by x square. So, therefore, dV, the potential difference is equal to minus 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught into q divided by x square into dx. So, call this equation number 2. See, this is the potential difference between the points A and B. So, the potential difference is equal to minus 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught into q divided by x square into dx. Now, what is the potential at P? See, potential at P is defined as, it is the amount of work done in bringing a charge from infinity to point P against the field of q. So, therefore, the potential at P is V equal to integration from infinity to point P. From infinity to point P, see it is minus 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught into q divided by x square into dx. Okay. So, now this equation can be written as V equal to minus 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught into q into integration from infinity to point P. See, this 1 over x square can be written as x to the power minus 2 into dx. See, the integration of x to the power n. See, integration of x to the power n into dx is equal to x to the power n plus 1 divided by n plus 1. See, using this formula, we can write the potential equation as V equal to minus q divided by 4 pi epsilon naught into x to the power minus 2 plus 1 by minus 2 plus 1. See, the limits from infinity to point P. So, the point P is at a distance r. So, use this r. See, this is also r. Okay. So, therefore, V is equal to, say, minus get cancels, q divided by 4 pi epsilon naught into 1 by x from infinity to r. Or this can be written as V equal to 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught into q divided by r. So, this is the expression for potential at P, due to the charge plus q. See, the potential depends on the charge q. See, as the magnitude of charge increases, the potential also increases. And the potential depends on the distance between the point charge and the point P. Okay. See, as the distance increases, the potential decreases. So, therefore, we can assume that the potential at infinity is taken to be 0. See, the potential due to a point charge at infinity is taken to be 0. We have discussed the potential due to a point charge. See, now we will going to discuss the potential due to a dipole. See, what is a dipole? A dipole, a system consisting of two equal and opposite charges separated by a small distance, is called an electric dipole. See, let us consider an electric dipole. See, we will going to find out the potential due to dipole. See, let us consider a dipole. See, this is a negative charge and this is a positive charge separated by a distance equal to 2a. So, this is a and this is a. Okay. So, now consider a point P from the center of the dipole. Let us consider a point P from the center of the dipole. It is at a distance r from the center of the dipole. So, this is point P. See, the position vector from the point P to the charge minus q is r1. See, this is the position vector r1 and this is the position vector r2. This is the position vector r2. Okay. Say, consider this is point A and this is point B. Say, now extend this OP. Extend this OP and draw a perpendicular on OP from the point A. See, this is the point A. See, let this distance is A dash. This is the point A dash, A dash. Let this angle is theta. Similarly draw a perpendicular from point B on the line OP. See, this is the perpendicular drawn from the point B on the line OP. Okay. See, let this point be B dash, and this is angle theta. Okay. See, now what is the potential at point P? See, the potential at point P is the sum of potentials due to the negative charge and the positive charge. So, therefore, the potential at P is equal to the sum of potential due to the charge at A and due to charge at B. See, therefore, potential at P is V is equal to potential at P due to charge at A plus potential at P due to charge at B. Okay, this is the principle of superposition. So, according to the superposition principle, we can add the potentials due to both the charges. So, therefore, V is equal to V1 plus V2. See, V1 is equal to potential at P due to charge at A is 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught into, see, this is negative charge, write down minus q divided by R1. So, the distance between the point A and the point P is R1. See, plus 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught into, see, this is plus q divided by R2. R2 is the distance between the point P and the point B. Okay. Now, this can be written as V is equal to 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught into q divided by R2 minus q divided by R1. We call this equation number 1. If 2a is small when compared to R, then A dash P is approximately equal to OP. So therefore, OP is approximately equal to A dash P. Therefore, when 2A is small compared to R, then this AP is approximately equal to A dash P. See this AP is approximately equal to A dash P. See this A dash P is equal to, A dash O plus OP. A dash O plus OP. See this A dash P is equal to R1. R1 is equal to A dash O. See A dash O plus this is OP is equal to R. See what is A dash O? See A dash O is equal to A cos theta. See this A dash O is equal to what? A cos theta. See cos theta is equal to adjacent by, see cos theta is equal to adjacent by hypotenuse A. So therefore, A dash O is equal to A cos theta. So therefore, R1 is equal to R plus A cos theta. Similarly, see BP is approximately equal to B dash P. See this BP is approximately equal to B dash P. See B dash P. So B dash P is equal to, see this B dash P is equal to PO minus OB dash. See PO minus OB dash. See PO is equal to what? R. This is R minus OB dash. See again this OB dash equal to A cos theta. See this is again A cos theta. So therefore, B dash P is equal to R minus A cos theta. B dash P is equal to R2. See the B dash P is approximately equal to BP. So therefore, it is R2 is equal to R minus A cos theta. See now, substitute the values of R1, R2 in this equation. So now, potential V is equal to 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught into, see Q divided by, see R2 is equal to, see this is R2 is equal to R minus A cos theta minus Q by R1. Q by R1 equal to R plus A cos theta. Okay. See V is equal to Q divided by 4 pi epsilon naught into, see this is in the form of A plus B into A minus B. It can be written as R square minus A square cos square theta. Okay. And here in the numerator it is R plus A cos theta minus R, minus into minus plus A cos theta. Okay. See the plus R minus R cancels. A cos theta plus A cos theta, it is 2A cos theta. So therefore, V is equal to Q divided by 4 pi epsilon naught into 2A cos theta divided by R square minus A square cos square theta. See it is R square minus A square cos square theta. Okay. See this is the expression for, potential due to the dipole. The potential due to dipole is V is equal to, see, V is equal to Q divided by 4 pi epsilon naught into 2a cos theta by r square minus a square cos square theta. See, if a is much less than r, then a square is much less than r square. So therefore, we can neglect a square cos square theta. See, we can neglect a square cos square theta, and the potential can be written as Q divided by 4 pi epsilon naught into 2a cos theta divided by r square. Okay. See, this is the expression when a is much less than r. See, for a is much less than r, potential due to dipole is given by Q by 4 pi epsilon into 2a cos. See, when theta is equal to 0, when theta is equal to 0, that is the point P lies on the axial line of the dipole. See, this is the dipole moment vector. See, the theta is the angle between the position vector r from the point O to point B and the dipole moment P. So therefore, when theta equal to 0, see, when theta equal to 0, we can write the electric potential at a point on axial line of the dipole. So potential at a point on axial line of the dipole is Q by 4 pi epsilon naught into 2a by r square. Cos 0 is equal to 1. See, this is Q into 2a is equal to what? Dipole moment. See, the dipole moment P is equal to what? Q into 2a. This is called dipole moment. So therefore, V is equal to 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught into P divided by r square. Okay. See, when theta is equal to 0, we can obtain the potential due to dipole at a point on the axial line of the dipole. See, V is equal to 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught into P by r square. See, now the potential due to dipole can be written as, see, V equal to 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught into, see, this is P cos theta. See, P cos theta, P equal to Q into 2a is equal to P. So therefore it is P cos theta divided by r square. See, this can be written as V equal to 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught into P, the vector P dot r cap. So r cap, unit vector in the direction of the dipole moment. So by r square. See, P vector P dot r cap is equal to P cos theta. So the potential due to dipole can also be written like this. Okay. See, if point P lies on the equatorial line of dipole, so that is when theta is equal to 90 degree. So if theta equal to 90 degree, cos 90 is equal to 0. So therefore, the potential at any point on equatorial line of dipole is 0. Okay. So therefore, the potential at any point on equatorial line of dipole is 0. Okay. So let us find the potential due to a system of charges. See, here now we will going to find the potential at a point due to a number of charges. See, let us consider a point P at some origin. See, let this is charge Q1 at a distance R1P. See, R1P be the position vector of charge Q1 from the point P. Similarly, consider charge Q2 at a distance R2P, charge Q3, Q4 and Q5. This is charge Q3, Q4 and this is Q5. See, for Q3 R3P position vector. This is R4P. This is R5P. Okay. See the charges Q1, Q2, Q3, etc., Qn are placed at a distance R1P, R1P, R2P, this is R2P, R3P, etc., Rnp from a point P, from a point P. Okay, now what is the potential at P due to charge Q1? See the potential at P due to charge Q1 is V1 is equal to 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught, 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught into Q1 divided by R1 into P. See, Q1 divided by R1 into P. Similarly, potential at P due to charge Q2 is V2 is equal to 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught into Q2 divided by R2P. Similarly, the potential at P due to charge Q3 is 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught into Q3 divided by R3P. See, R1P, R2P, R3P are the distances of charge Q1, Q2, Q3 from the point P respectively. So now the total potential at P, see, total potential at P is V is equal to V1 plus V2 plus V3 plus etc. plus Vn. Okay. So the total potential is the sum of potential due to the individual charges at point P. See the total potential V is equal to V1 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught into, see this can be written as Q1 by R1 into P plus Q2 by R1 into P plus Q3 by, see this is R2 into P, this is R3P plus etc. plus Qn divided by Rn into P. So this is the total potential due to the system of charges. Okay. So the total potential at a point due to the n number of charges is the potentials is the sum of potentials due to the individual charges.